Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I was actually supposed to be interstate competing at a show this week, and sadly a snap lockdown for COVID in one of the states we had to drive through to get to New South Wales unfortunately means that we are now stuck at home and we cannot go and compete. So instead I thought I'd film a yard tour and show you a little bit of our piece of the world. So we live in South Australia and we live on 80 acres. We've been here 2 years, so we came from somewhere where we didn't have any land and the horses were kept at a friend's place up the road. So now I'm very lucky that they're here with me and I'm able to do them from home every day. So yeah, enjoy this video, this little tour of my little yard. So we'll start in the stables first. Other than the shed, Dad actually built these stables for me from scratch. He designed them, built them, everything. They're hand painted. Like, it was a big job, but they're incredible. We love them. So we've got 4 stables in here. They're all 4x4, and you can see my little white socks up the top there. He was my first horse, my rocking horse. So he's been with us for many years. So he has pride of place up the top there. So first of all, we'll start with the wash bay. So this is my wash bay, and we've got just the rubber mats in here, just helps to stop them slipping and that sort of stuff. My feed bucket's obviously drying from this morning. I've got a saddle rack over there, that's for when I'm tacking up in the morning and I bring stuff out of the tack room, saves me going back and forth. Over there I've got just my shampoos, my grooming box down the bottom, some towels. The hose, obviously we've got hot and cold water, we're really lucky with that, they appreciate that in the winter definitely. Then my washing machine, which is a lifesaver, it's incredible for all my horse rugs, love it. And then all of my sort of cleaning tools and everything like that are neatly up on the wall. So this is my little feed area. We don't have a feed room as such, it's just the side opposite the wash bay. So I've just got my wheelie bins. We found this is the best way to keep mice and things out of them, and they've lasted years, so they seem to do the job. So we've got all my feed bins down there with everything that's sort of in bags, pellets, everything. And then up there we've got all our supplements. They're all from the Farmalogic Equine range. We've got a variety of the supplements, and if that's a more in-depth video you'd like, I'm happy to make that. But basically we've got their probiotic, their ulcer treatment, the relief, the Omega Balancer for Stormy, Reflex for Charlie, so that's a joint supplement, and then I've got the Melox there as well for any sort of respiratory issues or immune system stuff that helps to get them over illness and that sort of stuff. Then I've just got my little box that's got all sorts in it. It's got a bot knife for the hay bales, little licorice, anything in there. Charlie's treat ball, all the buckets on the side, and then we just bring the hay across from the barn that's opposite the stable. We've got thousands of bales in there, so we just bring them across as we need them. So this is one of the stables. I'll show you one, and then obviously all 4 are all the same. So they've all got their names on the stable with their competition name, then their stable name, and Stormy's got his little hashtag because he's amazing. So in the stables, they've all got, the front half is done with rubber. I saved up and I could only afford to do half the stable with rubber, but it actually doesn't work too badly. The second half is just concrete underneath, and that's where they've got the sawdust, and they find that works really well, and so I don't actually want to do the other half in rubber. I'm happy just with the front. Pretty simple. They've all got a hay bag, all got a water bucket. The back walls are insulated, so it stays really nice and warm in winter and cooler in summer, and the roof is also insulated, so that helps to keep them warm and cool. This here that you can see above us, that's misters. So Dad put these in for me just before summer, and so they come in here when it's really hot, and they would normally have fans hanging up on the side of their stables, and then they have the misters as well, so they're really happy when it's hot. So welcome to my tack room. Ever since I was little, it was my dream to have sort of a wall of photos in my tack room. So this is all of the bigger competitions that we've gone to and all of the good times. So it's really nice to have them in here. Every time you walk in the morning, you've got all the photos of all the good times or when there's a bad ride. And we just love being able to look at them. So we've got them there on the back wall. And then here on this wall, we've got the 3 saddles. So these are the 3 that get used. I've got a couple more upstairs, but they don't get used. They're just older ones. Then we've got Stormy's competition rug. He doesn't compete anymore, so we've got his rug hanging up in here for sentimental reasons. And then here I've got rug storage. So these are all my winter rugs, rain sheets, everything like that down there. My Fat Max is here. He's not normally in here. It's normally in the float when we're at a show, but for now it's in here when we're not away. Here are my saddle blankets. And then up here I've got my board. So this is where I plan out my week. So at the start of every week I plan out what I want to do, and I either put if it's a lesson, lunge, or if they're ridden, and the colours are for each of the different horses, so I know who's done what and when, because I can't remember it to save myself. And then each week I'll update that, and I'm able to look back and see what everyone's done, so it's really useful. And then over here I've got some paddock boots. The rest are on their saddle racks out the front of their racks out the front of their stables, but these are sort of the spare ones. Then I've got my polo bandages along here, the pads for underneath the bandages, and then in these 4 boxes here I've got just cleaning stuff, some latex gloves, all that sort of stuff. Then here, this one's my boots that I don't use a lot, the work boots that don't get used. This one's the work boots that do get used a lot, so there's a lot of brushing boots in there. This one's for all of the bell boots, and then I've got my travel boots and spare stable boots down the bottom there. Here are my helmets, so I've got my show helmet for when we compete in show horse, and then these are my helmets that I use at home. And then I've got my rib vest there, quarter sheets for in winter, there's a lunging system, and then cleaning stuff is in that box down there for cleaning saddles and bridles. I've got all of my whips stored under there, and then the rest are in the float. There is a few. Along here, again, we've got just some memories, and then the sashes up here, 2 of them are from Kiwi and Charlie, and the rest are Stormy's. So, and then I've got some rugs along here. My woolen rugs at the moment, the weather is all over the place, and some nights I'm rugging, some nights I'm not. So the others are again out front of their stables, but this is where the rest of the woolen rugs are kept. Spare cotton rugs that don't fit on my other shelves, spare hoods that don't fit on my other shelves, and then down here sort of my miscellaneous stuff. So I've got some hoods, some cool sheets, some travel rugs, stuff that doesn't get used very often. Here I've got spares of everything. So I've got spare flash straps, there's a martingale here, spare reins, spare spur straps. Then I've got my spurs, Stormy's training bridle from when he went to nationals, another spare bridle. Then I've got Key's bridle, Stormy's bridle, Charlie's bridle that she came with, but we don't use that one anymore. Charlie's snaffle bridle, her double bridle, and then I've got their going out halters. So these are their competition halters, and they've got their names and their bridle numbers on, because they're compulsory for them to have on at a competition, and I don't like using those little ones that go up the top here. They just come off and they're annoying, so I get them engraved on here and they last forever and they're there all the time. Got some more lunging stuff here, just spare bits. This saddle here is the first saddle I bought with my own money. I think I was about 16. Then I went into Bonnets and I got my first saddle. It cost me 150 bucks. I got a bridle, a bit, a saddle blanket, everything with it. It was great. So I don't use this anymore, but I've got it in here just to sort of remember what that was like. And then here, more rugs. So I've got all my cotton rugs along the top here. Then spare, well not spare hoods, but all of my hoods and tail bags are in the corner there. Then this shelf and this shelf here are my polar fleece. So that's kind of a mixture of polar fleece hoods, neck rugs and polar fleece rugs. And then down the bottom are my very summer specific rugs. So just anything with mesh on it basically goes down the bottom there. So this is my little coffee area. So I've got a fridge in here for any medications, ice boots, all that sort of stuff, and it is covered in photos of memories. My first helmet is actually up here. This is my first ever helmet that I had, I don't know, it must have been about 5 or 6, and it's got all the scratches on it from my first fall off a little school pony, so that's a cute memory. And then there are photos of my very first riding lesson many years ago. And then I've just put some photos on the walls of just general sort of memories from around the place and photos that I really like. So it's nice to have a coffee in here and be able to look at all these memories at the same time. So this is our arena. We've got a 20 by 60 dressage arena, and the surface that we've got on here is just an arena mix, so it's just sand. We've not mixed it with any fabrics or anything like that, and it has lasted us all year round. I've had 2 winters in this arena now, and I've been able to use it all year round when there's no puddles. Like, we love it, it's amazing. And then we've got 2 mirrors in the top corners at the top end there, and I actually got them Facebook Marketplace for $90 for the pair, so they were just gym mirrors that some guy was wanting to get rid of, so we've mounted them on the fence up here, and that was probably the best $90 I think I've ever spent. And then you can see up the top there's a little viewing platform, so that's just like a little viewing area for when people come when I'm teaching, and people come to watch the lessons and things like that. So we've got just a couple of couches and things up there for everyone to sit and watch. And then these are our horse paddocks. So we've actually got 80 acres, but we just keep the horses in these 6 paddocks. So we've got 6 paddocks that are all roughly the same size. This one in front of us here is actually a little bit bigger than the rest, but they're roughly the same size. They're all surrounded with this stock guard fencing, so that's electric, and we find it is fantastic, really easy to fix. When it goes loose or anything like that, we've not had any issues with it at all. There's a raceway the whole way around the paddocks and then down through the middle as well, so it splits at 3 on either side. And then the 2 at the top there have got these shelters, and they were when the boys were living here in the paddocks the full time before we had the stables built. So just the 2 have got the shelters, and then the rest have all got a tree that provides shade through the rest of the day.